towards Niso and Nuki, right? We know what these guys are capable of. Again, Nuki, yesterday I said it, recent form, this guy has looked fantastic, making a strong case, you know, arguably being one of the best players in the region right now. And obviously Niso, a big talking point with Heretics, so I think this is a statement. Heretics are coming out to make a statement in map 1. The pressure goes straight onto Acend. Again, there's composition questions around here with obviously the role switches, and really, I mean, it depends on Acend having a strong start here. They've got to keep Nuki and Niso in check.
All right, welcome to the grand finals, ladies and gents. This is a best of 5 between Heretics and Acend. Acend brought out everything in their previous game, in that semi-final. Pretty one of the best we've flat out seen. And I'm not lying to you about that. That's not an over-exaggeration. That was something special. Cena digging deeper than expected, but they can't relent now. History is written by the victors in these moments, and both of these teams have their own stories to tell. So let's find out who gets to tell the tale of who walked away with a win here. First round underway. Already seeing a hefty A lean, but it is going to be just Niso waiting on the other side.
Yeah, I like that as well. Again, Lowell throws the wall down early, and they rotate 4 over towards B, and now obviously the spy cam picking up that information. Rotate back over here. Niso will find the first one to see now. That's a big victim. Acend actually going to lean back here, and Nuki wisely backing away here. Going to try and throw the paint showing to slow this down a little bit, but they might be able to pass. Nuki will find one. He'll find the second as well.
Huge work from Nuki. That's just cut off any plan that Acend tried to have on this switch up. Goldament is dead. It's sick work from Nuki and Niso. The two players that always catch the headlines start this off perfectly.
Brilliant start from, again, no damage done whatsoever to Heretics, so expect the full save coming out from Acend here. Again, love that switch up. Again, as soon as the spy cam spots it, you can see Heretics Acend over, and actually, you know, Nuki playing this deep here, he's not really kind of over-investing to get that information on mid, so he's ready for Acend to lean back towards that area. Oh, we do. Again, expect Acend to try and just charge something down, get a kill, get an opener into this round. Something for them to get working.
Yeah, just trying to bait it out by B, get all that attention towards it. Maybe, you know, draw a couple of players over so they might be able to get a spike plant. And if they went as it stood, they might be able to do that, but they're not going to be able to pull off the retake more than likely, of course. It's, you know, or hold the retake, should I say. This should be pretty comfy. And here's going to be just that Cypher. Kind of lingering around towards ramp. That's going to be Pora waiting. The 3 players going to start their way through. The 1 will cross, so Sage does make it through, but only for now. Sage got caught up there by Lau, so nicely done to make sure no one was getting that spike down. And Avova still keeping cool on the other side of the map. And, well, don't forget, he had a damn good series.
Gold. Gonna get himself a constellation. Probably can't retrieve that weapon, though. Over gonna try and hold this down. Again, at this point, Bone Cold to do any damage he can to the economy. Gonna hop down, but if Over cleans it up. Nuki, the only one to fall in this. This gives Heretics a really good opportunity, actually, again, with the 4 SMGs.
Spike down.
Look for them to potentially make a fast play or a stack once again, to be honest. You just try and play close contact on a site. But the opportunity for Acend to put their first on the board here. Obviously, you see 5 rifles across. Ultimate-wise, nobody really close. Starzo 2 off the Seekers. Maybe going to look for that orb in Garage once again. I think they've taken it both times, actually, on Starzo. Heretics actually set up in the same default. I mean, Avova going over to A is the only real difference here. Pora rotating over to B, but it's Niso and Nuki once again to hold down the fort in mid.
Now, the danger man that we can't ignore is always going to be Cena. He was a game changer for them in their semi-finals coming through this, and he might have to be again. I don't know if it's this map that's going to work for him, but it will be one of them. So already we start this one up and he finds it first. Nuki's gone down and that cracks open an opportunity. There is another, though, to kind of fill the gap. That's going to be Pora, so he's going to be put on red alert and have to try and play safety here towards that B connector, just towards heaven.
The Bone Cold actually finding a kill on the other side of the map could make things interesting here. Heretics right now, 2 players committed to ropes. It's Owl and Niso. And Pora's actually gone hunting. Look at him. He's gone all the way through Garage here. So, going to get some decent information that I was going to say. Acend potentially looking to make a play in mid. Lau now needs to hold down the 4, but he does get traded out. Really nice trade there. And Pora, like I said, he did go hunting. Finds himself in a 1v4 now. Expect a potential to upgrade, but look at this. CNED holding out He's anticipating that very move to come and upgrade this weapon.
Just gonna be policing the weaponry. You can see Pora's just like, please, let me just get that, and I'll go. No, CNED's not gonna let you. So there it is, answer back, and let's talk about what Ascend have done with this. Keeping 4 alive, 4 rifles up, a spike plant as well. This might stabilize a little, because they were really suffering in those first 2 rounds. They weren't able to make much from it. I think maybe 1 kill came through. So the economy going to be kind of in the bin for a little while, but this is a great way to start stabilizing and moving forward. Not surprising, though, to see Heretics not able to convert the bonus round, we like to call it, and it certainly is a bonus round. You're working with specters and bits and pieces, whatever you've been able to take through from the first few. This is the big boy, though, isn't it, Hypoc? This is the one where it matters. It looks like a hefty lean towards A. This could just be a straight-up big start, and CNED, he's not afraid by any means. Spots the first Pora, though. Unafraid to fight either, but now he's got the information. He has to play this just right. He's re-aggressing towards ramp. Keep that in your back of the mind. If he starts rapping on this, no. Seeker's come out, sprays in. Oh, my word, he shut down all of it. Ultimate's gone to waste. Nisao now comes around. He's there in support. There's 2 players, 1 right, 1 left. Pora finds the left, and it's Nisao on the right. Ascend gets shut down. This is a huge rap coming through ramp. Killers does well to shut down Nisao, but it's still just 2 of them on the site. Make it just 1. Colder Menta gonna be crunched on, and Heretics. The paciness on this.
Of that, don't even get them, or give them an opportunity to set up, or at least solidify their position in that post plant. And I mean, really, Starzo throws out the Seekers. I love it. Again, he's going to try and aggress onto Heaven, try and get that kill onto Pora. But I think he actually peaked with whilst the Seekers were going up ramp. He actually tried to flash out, and unfortunately, that's his demise there. He's then forced to play down the bottom. But that clearance by Nisao and Pora, just so clean, so quick as well. Like I said, not giving them an opportunity at all to set up.
It was the fact that Pora was already leaning into that so early. He kind of got the contact from Rafters, fell back towards ramp, and instantly controlled the space that potentially could have been garnered for that post plant, put the pressure straight away towards it as well, so there was never a moment for them to rest. Back in we go, though, and you can see Heretics taking space here. This is a proactive defending side. Lal gonna get that deeper wall going, get the orb on his side. That's res now up.
You know, there's things like this that are going to keep Send anxious for this early round control. So we talk about Sage's application in comp time and time again, and right there the territory control, and you can see actually the full lean from Heretics. It's only Pora over on A site this time around. Bone Cold over towards A main. Now if Ascend choose to push through here with a spike as well, they might just deal with the trap wire and maybe bait a little bit of a rotation out. Yeah, straight away Nuki hits the rotate. The spike's still down bottom mid, so this is Ascend just literally trying to force a rotate out and open up B site. You see they're stacking towards garage now.
And it feels like, I've got to say, Heretics still had a good read, but CNED on the Ferrari peek around the corner. That's Nisao now gone from Heaven. This forces Nuki to have to get a little bit more postured up. And didn't quite find it on the way back through, but while that happened, Avova did find Starkso. So that kind of crunch towards B has been met by force, and maybe well read here, I've got to feel. But let's look at this. Still a 4v4 in action. Keep your eyes on the spike, leaning back towards A, but Nuki, out of nowhere, finds Killers. The res gets invested. Heretics kind of forming back towards 5. And you're right, it's just 10 seconds, and Pora just has to play for the spike plant. He doesn't have to do anything else, just ensure safety. He's cautious of his own push, and it does come out. I don't know if they've got time on the spike plant. They apparently they do.
Well, actually, yeah, a little bit of a
the UI, yeah. Wait, whoa.
They were so close that the UI didn't even know.
Even the UI was like, no, I promise you.
Yeah, they got it.
No, like how late were they? There was 10 seconds left as they were getting towards what, like ramp area ish.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally 6 seconds when they find that kill on Pora in elbow, so that they've missed it by a tenth of a second max. That's unfortunate. I mean, getting the entry there and also getting onto site. Interesting one, but a blow nonetheless to Ascend. I mean, talk about the performance yesterday. My big question coming into today is how much have they got left in the tank? Honestly, this is the biggest test this roster has seen so far, and they played their absolute hearts out yesterday.
It's a really valid point.
I would hate to see rounds play out like that today. It just would, you know, the hesitation factor coming in and kind of scrambling for getting something together.
I just love the fact that Heretics, the pace changes already. They've had a couple of rounds sitting nice and deep, a couple of bits and pieces thrown out, but already Bone Cold's going to find a Vova. Look at the shutdown. As soon as they step towards the site, Heretics are so ready for this. Spikes down lost towards B main. That's unrecoverable at this point. It's just CNED and Kiles. Now that's a shot. Just snappy as ever is CNED. Nisao's down. Now a 2v3 between these two. Hey, it could happen.
Nuki's gone all the way through, so they're going to have this information, and actually he might try and re-aggress behind them in mid-low. Going to find Kiles off screen. He might just catch CNED creeping. Did they see each other? I think Nuki must have seen him, right?
30
I feel like the timing was there. Oh.
Oh, no. No, don't do it, Nuki.
No. Nuki, don't do this. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
A kindness.
Yeah.
I was waiting
know
for
what
the...
he was thinking. I know exactly what he was thinking.
5-1. Okay, Hypop, let's start talking about scoreline and expectations here. This map, historically, considering a best of 5 now, and just also the fact they get contact towards kind of like, you know, the deep side of pillar towards, you know, kind of like heaven side and the swing on it, the timing's glorious. But bigger picture here, this isn't a good map for Ascend. And we already talked about the mental game coming back through, where it's going to be... They put everything into that previous game, and that wasn't like it was a week ago, that was a day ago. So to pull yourself back together, get ready for a brand new final, this calls for a great deal of resilience, and Cena trying to provide some of that, leading somewhat of the way.
That's the deal with the trap wire. Okay, it's so awkward to dig Poor out of that position. Again, the paranoia gets thrown through. They try and follow up with the Blade Storm, and now the rotations come through. I mean, they can just slow this down completely. Ascend, rightfully so, have to reconsider their approach. Maybe just trying to fake the steps away. Maybe just try and bait one of Heretics to come and peek this, but I don't think it's going to happen. Nuki and Avova already hitting that rotate. Nuki going to get himself back over towards B Heaven.
They do have time to swing back through sewer. If they want to try and show steps, if this wants to be like a double pump, it could work out. But I want to see the intention now. Cena's been spotted, and as has player on the other side towards Pillar. There are 3 players still on this side. One of them waiting towards this off angle is Nisao. That's such a big off angle too. And the spike has now been noted as well. That's going to be a big find towards middle. That should kind of create a little less of a... I guess chaotic round for Heretics to handle, but let's see how this comes down, because there is still Kiles and Stark, so to try and make something happen, you do have a Vova at the back of sight, and
they spotted him.
This gives away the game, but he's trying to buy time. Oh, it's so well done! Absolute perfection under pressure. A Vova unfailing in the biggest moments, and this is the player that just surprised me a great deal last time we saw him as well. So many moments out of nowhere. I'm so used to looking at, you know, Nuki, Nisa, you know, some of the big names, but a Vova showing his value time and time again.
Can't agree more. Not usually the talking point, but I mean, that last series, I just think back to that Ascent clutch, the retake, the 3-piece. And the highlight for me for Avova's journey so far, but it's unfortunate there, because I mean, Ascend isolate, they kind of identify where the 2v1's going to come from. Ooh, CNED. And this is what I was talking about now. Ascend have to be conscious of this. In the early round, Isao and Pora going hunting elsewhere. Keeler's going to get spotted. This is the thing, really, with no... I mean, Keeles is that, you know, that sentinel role here, technically, in terms of lurking. He's the one that's going to be trying to control the extremity in any default that Sen set up. And really, with the likes of... I mean, it's Pora, Nuki, and Niso that they're able to kind of flex out into that.
They've got straight up free info. Now, the walk
look
can
at
happen.
On the map.
100%. Yeah, this is what I mean. They've got free info. Pora's just walked through. Now, there's going to be the big indicator that, okay, got to call out to my buddy over here, Nisao, to maybe get a little look towards heaven, catch the cross. He can sit in a dirty angle to do this as well. That's going to be the first for free. He sees the barrel so quickly, readjusts towards sight, new angle. Might have got spotted on the way out, but still... Gonna buy time for the rotations to come in. 36 seconds now. They've still got to get past him, and Avova's still standing. Ascend thought maybe they'd found a way around. Found something out. Still lingering, and CNED can't make it count this time, and the spike is left deep. The information game is being controlled by Heretics.
I mean, this is the big problem, right? If you're going to default here, again, without a Killjoy, without a Cypher, you have to invest a body to control that flank, right? And ultimately, yeah, I mean, it's Pora and Niso finding a 2v1.
Spike down A.
Keyleth falls, and I mean, Heretics just absolutely punish them for having no flank control whatsoever. Pora goes all the way through. Niso's in a position where he can capitalize on that push coming through from heaven. It's just the contingency plan from Heretics is so beautiful to watch it.
But Ascend fans, don't lose hope yet. Because we've seen what can happen before. It needs a spark. And that spark previously was CNED, and everything else fell into the right place. This is not a well played out map for them. This is something that historically they've either shied away from, or, you know, they've dabbled a little, but it's not been good. It's not been a pretty map by any margin. Now, whether or not they can right themselves going forward, kind of reset that mental, is going to be the big question. And for now, Heretics just keep adding that pressure, mounting it on at this point. Now the economy has been broken, not too surprising. And the buy coming out, well, they've forced around it. They've got the armor, they've got everything that they can try and bring into this.
4 ultimates online, but... And I mean, you got to argue Seekers is the only real playmaker here. We talk about the ultimates that you could potentially pop, you know, to sway around, especially with a purchase like this. And it's seen it without the Blade Storm. There's not an awful lot to follow up on the Seekers, to be honest, because the weaponry is so weak.
Inside we go. Lau gets his... CNED just found two! CNED! Okay, yeah, maybe they don't have an ultimate, but they've got the ultimate player. They can just pour into a site. Seekers go down, and now Heretics on the back foot. Pressure starts to mount for them. The spike is planted. Bone Cord's there. Gets himself a rifle, locks and load, and is ready. Nuki and Pora called upon on the retake here. TP comes out, Bone Cold just tries to play a dirty little game, but Nuki's having none of it. A 3v2, it's feasible. Cold and Mentor and Stark, so unable to get rifles yet. Still on the Sheriffs. They do have armor and decent post plants. Pora the first one in. He's got support from behind, but he gets found. No trade there for him. It's Nuki. Look at this play. CNED opens it up, and it's shut down in the end by him. The perfect bookends to a round that Ascend never should have had, but they made it work.
In no world at all. I mean, CNED literally dashes in, updrafts onto Shed, and then somehow finds both of those kills. Just insane. Imagine saying before that they had nothing to work with in that round. Wouldn't that be crazy? Would be good. Just the Seekers, right? Just the Seekers and Sheriffs.
Hey, look, if you have CNED, the game
anything's possible. Anything is possible.
It's wild, and I love it. Wait, are they getting a little aggy on this? Okay, Nuki and Nisao, the duo, right? The kind of 1-2 punch of Heretics. Don't have a little look. Now, confident enough to not necessarily deep clear, but start the clear. Pora is going to be forced back of this, or at least to show presence. So again, I like what Ascend are trying to do, which is just deal with that early aggression that Heretics have been trying to throw out. Now they've finally got a bit of utility and cash to do so. But the next part of the puzzle is, of course, the site hit. It's such a just a long haul kind of con in this one, right? You've got to clear so methodically, show nothing away, make sure no aggression slips through, while also keeping some utility for the site hit yourself. Ooh.
Cool drops, actually. Over and Lau will have a perfect setup if Ascend try and creep this out main. Actually, I'm keeping my eye on the spike because that is making its way up mid. Yeah, and there you can see Nuki that's going to find it. The counter peek from Niso, so good from these two. They find the entry on A, but finally will trade that out of overfalls, but they find themselves in a 2v3 now. Spike going to hit this rotate through sewers.
He's got to buy time. He has to just try and buy time.
That's the challenge here, yeah.
He has to slow this down. This is going to go about timing. Killers gets caught off and it's open now. Nisao's there. And Starkso knows he's in trouble. The double face. He's trying to find an individual fight and he gets given nothing. So well played in the end by Heretics that I love the idea. But let's talk about those kind of almost micro crossfires that are set up everywhere. You had middle, right? Nisao and Nuki locking it down from such complementary angles. Heavily hard to fight against. And then you had ramp and also the side control. As much as, yes, you've gone through the protocols of forcing Heretics back, so you've quelled that early aggression. No one's pushed towards lobby. No one's pushing middle yet. But then you still have to be able to use that utility to crack out those first ports of contact. They're playing so well, and Starkso is having a bit of a nightmare series. 0 to 9 so far. We could do with a bit of a step up from him.
It's just to To build on that as well, the fact that, yes, those two crossfires are set up and Pora shows that presence early implies that, you know, there's going to be a little bit of a more aggressive setup on B more than anything. The wall goes down on A, maybe anticipating, you know, they're going to rotate away from the wall, but there's Pora actually going to swing out. Doesn't connect with anything there, down to 40 HP now, but Acend don't try and charge down that damage. Elsewhere, Keeler's actually on the back of that to try and find something. Oh, his crosshair was actually perfectly lined up there. He did actually get a little bit of a damage through the wall. Ned challenged Niso up in heaven. Actually going to swing onto this now. Niso double dips and we'll find Kiles instead.
The confidence to re-peek on that. You've just lost that angle. He finds it back with the Leer and then just doubles in. Rez comes out for Killers though, so they're back up to a 5v5 and Niso's in a little bit of danger. 10 HP, he's going to be put on notice, but Avova bails him out from that pillar just behind. Just keeping him safe, almost using Niso as the bait, but he can't capitalize anymore. But Lol can, out of heaven, just rains down hellfire from above. And that's Acend left in tatters. Cena, the last one alive in a 1v4. Spike is in hand. But there's an off angle for Nuki, just controlling that play towards heaven. And Cena now, he knows his options are limited. Where do you want to face the final fight here, basically, for yourself? Maybe you can get one.
10 seconds
Maybe they're just going to leap on over him. And
It's just seeing Heretics with that collapse. It's so good to watch, Lauren. So good to watch because they still have so much utility there. You can see. I mean, the slow goes down, the paranoia comes through, and at that point, I mean, they've burnt so much to get this close that it comes down to a couple of gunfights. And I mean, when Lowell's picking up 3 like that, not an awful lot you can do. Honestly, I mean, right now, I kind of want to see Acend stack up. Obviously, this little bit of a funky purchase is Spectre and a Bucky on the board for them. Bladestorm going to get popped.
ooh. It's just keep it simple, stupid. It's gonna be just straight on in. Cena, there's no, mincing of words here. This is very much to the point. Cena's made it to the back of sight, but Nuki's already found Cold Mentor, and that's a problem. Pora with the spray through finds Bone Cold. Cena feeling lonelier and lonelier, all on his lonesome now. Dives back in. That's 1. That's 2. He needs more. He gets more. 3. Oh my word! He's given them a chance. Another 1v1. Make it a 1v2. Start. Cened. Cened. Every time
of chaos, literally the kings of chaos. I mean, how many times yesterday did we see this? Cena it's almost like a tilt push, literally like a tilt push. This is just beautiful. I could watch him do this all day long. He actually nearly gets that kill onto Lowell as well.
So close. You're spot on. He's an agent of chaos. In these moments, he looks like he's playing something else. It's just like a 60 hertz monitor against like a 240. Like he's just got that full calm vision, Neo in the Matrix style stuff coming out. Now, yes, it was a good performance from him then, but the problem is they have 3 rounds to play with Hypoc. That's not a great deal, and I'd argue their attacking side normally looks better with them.
I tend to agree, and really, I'm actually going to swing out, but Heretics is happy to charge this down. And this is it. This is the no respect coming out from... Oh, okay. The drive-by comes out from... Oh, God, Niso will fall. Stars are going to pick up Pora and mid. This is man advantage right now for Acend.
Fight planted. Cena disengaging from the fight, trying to stay alive, keep himself living in this one. Not too much to play with. Stark's going to try and lend a helping hand here, but while this happens, Lal's already found Kodamenta. So a 3v3 now. That little advantage has been worked away at. But I like the disengage there almost. From Cena over blind as a bat.
Beautiful.
Gets taken down by Starkso, who found the first step in the right direction. The trades come out, though. Let's look at this positioning coming from Heretics. You got Nuki backside in towards a cubby, gets contact towards Starkso, and now while this happens, unable to spot Cena, so the call couldn't come out. He just beheads Lal, and there it is. A chance has been made.
Look, again, they need to go, because I think Heretics are going to come into this half, especially with this scoreline, and play like that. Play like that pistol round. It's going to be brute force. It's going to be Nisao, Nuki leading the way. See, once again, they're going to stack up towards B. Actually, yeah, all 5 this time. Pora not in that lurking role, but it's the force coming out. Got the Spectres. I think they're going to try and charge down this kill once again, and I don't want to see Acend lean away from B and say, maybe lightning doesn't strike twice.
Realize Sky actually swears in one of her voice lines. Thoughty.
Bunkety.
I know, dude. At least I can say it now. If she's saying it,
Actually, exactly. It's fine.
Sick. Okay, Spy's coming up from both sides. Pretty equal round, actually. Normally, of course, they kind of try and weather the storm, but Heretics looking like they want to commit to this, and Heretics actually committing to the side. Bone Cold's gone. Blink of an eye, he's struggling on the amount of pressure. Heretics are just throwing themselves at a wall and trying making it stick, and that's not a disrespectful play. It's a smart play with the advantage and the pressure that they've been mounting. Now with the spike planted again, another retake is going to be called upon. This time a little bit deeper towards pillar, backside, and towards main.
Also getting down. Niso actually going to find Zenit though. It's a big loss for Acend. They find themselves in a 3v5. The flash comes through. Gonna get too much though. Niso immediately responds onto that. Parliamenta 1 kill of his own. A second. 46 HP. Not an awful lot left to do, and Lowell will clean him up. Heretics will get their 10th. And the Force Buyer comes out, and it's absolutely worthwhile. Like I said, just no respect whatsoever. And I'm worried just before this replay cues because they're stacking up B once again. This wall is actually so awkward, by the way. It cuts off so much vision from hell. Like, they can play almost up behind that. So, and again, obviously, it blocks off the spawn entrance.
Double digits now.
Look at the stack now from Acend. Look.
Oh. We're just going to have a straight up... Alright, we'll meet on B. Rush B, no stop. And we do have a stack, but already... Oh, chunky damage. And they've got to know they've done some work on this. That's 1, 2. He's going to walk on through. Let's see if there's anything coming back in. I told you it's going to be madness, and it is. It's straight up deathmatch for trying to clear through. There is still an imposter among us. Slowly working around. It is Bone Cold on 4 HP. So not too threatening at that point.
Spike planted.
Parliamenta Constellation revive online, but again, this isn't a scenario he's ever going to get close to recovering this round. Heretics looking to close this one out in quick succession, to be honest. Coming into their attacking half. Again, they're running towards B. And the problem is, right, so let's talk composition here. The fact that obviously Acend are running with this, they don't have like that anchor, right? They don't have that information anchor. Like, they can't lean one side of the map and have that security blanket.
I mean, I'd argue, yes, you do have Sage in here, but beyond that, there's no heavy stopping power unless, again, you have to commit 3 players to utilize everything they've got. And for Heretics, why stop running it when it's working so well? And you're going to get into their heads because they sit there and go, well, eventually they won't do it, but here we go. Rinse and repeat. And those SMGs work well at this range. CNET's in danger, but he gets out of it. Seeker's invested, if I'm not mistaken. They are. Okay, so again, full faith this is going to be the hit. If you're feeling bold from Acend, which I doubt they are, they could have maybe tried to get up middle, find a little bit more room, cornering the map. But the last thing you're feeling right now is probably confident after you've just been run over.
I mean, so much invested, though, just to stop that. So now, I mean, Heretics pull away with a win in this scenario. CNET actually going to creep out mid. There's 3 people waiting. Gets the first 2. Lowell and Pora will fall. Over eventually equalizes. Oh, meant to get picked up. That's it. Big win coming out for Acend now on the back of CNET just creeping mid. Ego challenge almost now towards Sushi. Might actually catch time in here. They do get towards. Bone Cold did second guess it.
Now Avova, the 1v4 presented. 30 seconds on the board. Looks like someone's about to walk that smoke. Not sure if Killer's got vision as he tried to dip around towards Pillar. He knows that Bone Cold was towards CT, takes for the fight, and this is not clean as he'd want. And now he's in trouble. 2 players pouring through towards Pillar. He's got the first fight coming in, that's 1. No conversion, Bone Cold keeps control. And once again, you got to say a bit of a thank you, 1 to CNET for controlling that play towards middle. Picking up 2 there was imperative, and it also finds you information at that point. That gets that kind of flowing right back to you. And outside of that, yes, they were able to control that B hit, but you were right. So much utility was invested, ultimates invested, just to stop it.
I mean, the revive as well coming out at the end there just for the economy. Because we'll take a look at it again. Heretics, yeah, it's not even a blemish. That was still a couple of Spectres on there, a Bulldog as well. But the fact that they get the plant and Seekers used, Revive used, that's a massive win for Heretics if we look at the bigger picture. Because look at it. I mean, Lowell's 1 off Revive, everything else available.
And I'm sure this story will be told constantly throughout this game, but Acend is on 17 kills here. The closest on his team is 9 right now at Bone Cold. And Acend's just got his ult up. And a different look from Heretics. I think they've had enough of that mad rushing, which is fine.
But, I mean, well, you say that, but now it's got to be lingering in the minds of Acend. Well, what if they go back to it? What if they just hit B again?
Enough audio cues to keep their attention probably drawn towards middle, but there is going to be that lingering suspicion that there could be someone working through B. The wall's been invested a little bit deeper, which I quite like.
Yeah,
I'll at
I
least
like
keep
this.
track on that. And it allows them a bit more freedom towards this. Now, Starksoga needs to back away, sends in the flash. That's a really good idea, and that actually kind of quells
out,
the threat that was coming in from the ultimate. You can see Bone Cold wants in, but now he's kind of committed. Bit of a tricky spot. Does fade away towards the stairs, stays alive, but now look at Starkso. Has so many players potentially coming his way. There is a player on his team towards CT, but Coldamenta walks the smoke. He does find Nisao. Nuki goes down. Starkso coming online. 2 big kills. Spike is loose for now, and Acend spots out that final player, but Starkso very well handled under pressure there. That flash to deny Nuki was perfect.
Yeah, actually beautiful. I mean, it forces Nuki to make a decision. He either throws it out or he backs away and risks not being able to invest it at all. Good response here. Again, the timing on that. Yes, it might look as if Coldamenta just comes out and dry peeks out of the smoke there, but the timing of the pinch from the rest of Acend was perfect. Looking at it though, I mean, same situation once again. Lowell has the revive online now. Nuki invested the showstopper, but decent opportunity here if Heretics want to convert this round on a lesser bite. Bucky to Spectre goes to the Sheriff. But Acend, operator online now. If he can find any value with that.
Wait and see what Heretics do with this. Avova not subtle about presence, but the wall's there, so can't really make more than that. And they don't have to worry too much about it without the audio cue being there or the round being substantially later. So no one giving up a free chance here, it feels like.
Well, I like this. The wall's down. Acend's only really in a bad spot if they burst through that wall. Obviously, he does have his movement ability to maybe try and get out of that. He's sending one over. See there, they break the wall. He has to double check it now, and that's going to draw a second player over towards Heaven, Lauren. But meanwhile, Heretics ended it towards B.
Shadows traveling.
No one directly in Heaven right now, so the kind of retake of space towards B main was a really smart idea. It kind of keeps them going, but they've doubled back. Hold on, this is still going to be an AP, so they're going to leave the Reyna there and just kind of cause rotations, cause problems. Those sound cues will come through. Starkso knows he's in trouble. That's 1. He needs more. There's 2. Keeps himself alive. Flash goes in. He's buying the time for the rotations. Pora does find him, but Acend now can be called upon. Keep control of this. And now the rest comes out. 13 seconds. Heretics going wild on this one. The cross could be watched by Acend. Catches Nisao, plucks him out of the air, goes back in, spots out 2 more. Calls can be made. And there's nothing more to be done. The time, Acend just makes it look so good.
Again, I mean, the fake was nearly perfectly timed. The wall goes down, it draws an extra one over, but Starzo come up huge, I'll be honest. These 2 kills stops Heretics in their tracks, and at this point, it's only about 22 seconds left on the round. So, again, we talk about those late round hits. That 1 kill can literally be the turning point. Unfortunately, I mean, Pora was still in a position to pinch Starzo there.
Okay, after this round, we start talking about the word comeback. Until then, we hold off on it. We keep it in the back of our mind. Acend in the right place here. Very much at the right time. Maybe not so much now. Stick keeps his life, but now gets pressured. He's seen the cross release. The cross got called. Seekers go in, and once again, force further back. I do like Reyna against it off, but it's Starkso still trying to find value. Oh, the adjustment could have been big there for Avova. If he was able to convert towards Coldamenta on towards Pillar, that could have been it. And just Avova wins those fights. Already on the site, Spike can be planted. Acend behind enemy territory as Nuki's caught him. This could be the one that tilts them away as Keyless and Bone Cold called upon in these final moments. They need a victory out of this, and they're trying to fight for it, but Avova again gets such value in the imperative rounds.
3-piece for him. Do you know what? The point... Starzo may be a little overzealous to clean up whatever was coming through main there. There was a double slow warp down. The paranoia was perfect here, right there. I mean, Heretics are stuck in this slow, right? They either sit there and wait to get peeked, or they just keep creeping through. And I'll be honest, Starzo going down there just opens the gates. It leaves it wide open for Heretics to pressure Coldamenta. A fantastic round nonetheless. I mean, Nuki coming up and just the wrap onto Acend in heaven was fantastic.
Okay.
OT on map 1 win for Heretics, basically. Let's see what they do with this. Misao showing towards A, but the TP comes out. That's deep towards back B, and I wonder if that pinch is going to come in. I think Starzo's going to check on it, and he does, but he loses his life for it. Avova slicing them down the middle again, and all Heretics are doing some dirty work as now Acend are left with 3. Cena tries to put himself in the middle of this danger. Sees nothing yet. The spike is on the way. How patient will he be? Bone Cold starts to investigate, but there is a player down here. Kana just in time. It's falling apart by pieces. And now Acend, he needs to find this. Oh, the timing! He gets caught right in the middle. He still gets 1, but this is probably not enough now. Just Coldamenta left alive. The first challenge would be a Vova towards CT. Spike gonna be planted. But no, Coldamenta goes towards heaven. And Heretics on the verge of map point being put in their pockets. Coldamenta looks for the first. No opportunities presenting. Clears towards rafters, nothing. You can see a little bit of a peek on the side there. Lau, did he spot him? Maybe enough so. Drop down comes in, sound cue's made. The first fight was there, but it's over to close, and Heretics pick up map 1. There was life being shown by Acend.